Hey everybody and welcome back to Semi Stories. Today we got a crazy story from r/BestOf where OP's wife of 13 years cheats on him with her own employee. I'm just here to get straight to the point. My wife and I have been married since we were 25. We are 38 now and we met in college, got married and everything has been great. We both graduated, got good jobs and started our lives together. Me and my wife both made good money, so money was never an issue for us. My wife worked for her dad's small business, while I worked for a very large company. After a few years, my boss left the company out of nowhere and they needed someone to take over. The only person who knew how to run the department was me, so I got a major pay jump, better bonus, better benefits, the works. So at 28, I was making probably 3 times plus some more than my wife. At 28, the same year, my wife gave birth to our first daughter. Then 2 years later, our second. My wife, due to working for her father, was able to be more diverse in working. Well, around 5 years ago, my father-in-law passed away unexpectedly. That left my mother-in-law and wife in a hard position. Sell the company or run it themselves. My mother-in-law had no clue how to run it, so my wife said that she would do it. After my wife took the company, it did just as well as when her father ran it. With that being said, my wife got a huge pay increase, more than me. I was proud of her. Going from a basic worker to running a whole company is not easy. Anyways, our daughters started suffering from not seeing their parents. Me and my wife discussed one of us staying home, and she said, "The company you work for will be fine without you. Mine could go under." I agreed, so I became a stay-at-home husband/dad. I do everything. I make sure the girls are taken care of. I cook, clean, fix things, make sure errands are run, you name it. I pamper my wife when she gets home from working. This went well for a while until about a year ago. My wife was always very appreciative of what I did and loved it. She has become very mean lately. Like just saying things like, "Do you do anything?" Or, "How about you work for real?" What? I work my ass every day making sure you don't have to lift a finger when you get home at all. Also, I had a real job, but I quit to raise and take care of the girls, our home, and you. Not to mention my wife is very sexual, always has been. She quit initiating sex, and when I ask, she is never in the mood. That was very odd. Eventually, I quit trying. I just thought with all the pandemic crap and everything else, she was just very stressed and it was getting to her. I started trying harder to make her happy, but nothing ever worked. Last weekend, my oldest had a softball game, so I get everything ready and we go. During the game, I want to take a video for my mom and dad since they live in another state and don't get to see my daughters that often. I forgot my phone, so I asked my wife if I could see hers. She had been attached to it all day, so I thought it would be good for her to get off it. Anyway, she hands me and says she's going to get a drink and a snack. She gets up, I video my daughter, when a message comes up on some app. I check and I can't fathom what I see. My wife and this guy from her work, who is 8 years younger, are sexting and sending videos and pics, talking about how great the sex was, and then me. He is saying how I am some wimp who can't get a real job taking care of his woman, and my wife agrees with him. I couldn't believe the crap I saw. I was so devastated and angry all at the same time. I heard my wife coming back, so I closed the app and started videoing. On the ride home and when we get home, my wife tries to talk to me, but I am not in the mood. Eventually, we lay in bed, and for the first time, I guess they hadn't met in a while, tried to have sex. I tell her I'm not in the mood, and she says, "If you're going to be a little bee about everything, you can go sleep on the couch." I got up and went to the couch, and have been here since. I don't know how to move forward with this. I really just don't know where to start. My wife was my everything, my girls are my world, and all of that is dying. Any advice would be wonderful as I really effing need it. OP posted the following first update. Hey everyone, I just want to thank you all for the advice you gave. First off, I do have the texts, the pics, and the videos and everything. Second, I don't have any of the company. It's a 50-50 between her and my mother-in-law. Third, I can't sleep in the bed. I've been sleeping in the guest bedroom every night, and that is where I will be staying. To answer, I have decided to divorce her. Anyway, this morning I called a firm in another town to avoid anyone finding out. Thankfully, they were able to get me in this morning as someone had cancelled. After dropping off my girls, I drove over there. To make a long story short, he is a very good lawyer. I showed him what I had, and he said that luckily for me, with the evidence I have, she will be pretty much screwed in the divorce. Seeing as I quit my job to raise our girls, she is never home, she is having an affair, and prioritizes this man over me and my girls, she will lose very easily. He basically said we will get child support, alimony, and I will keep the house and she will have to pay for it as long as my girls live there. Also, he states that we could even try for more money since I am considered no longer viable in the working world, to help me pay for more education to get a job. Some of you were right. He said to not work until after the divorce is over. He said since you are the husband, if you have a job, you can lose a lot of this. He asked if I wanted full custody. I said that I don't mind my wife seeing her girls on the weekends every once in a while, but I would want mostly full custody. He said that since she had an affair in the marital home, I can basically do what I want. Since she started bringing over a strange man to the house, put the girls in danger, and that makes her guilty. So I will be going for full custody where she can get weekends once, maybe twice a month. No man will be allowed around my girls, and if there are, she could face problems by me if I find out. I just don't want that POS around my girls. He eventually said to keep quiet until the drafts are ready, and then he will issue someone to serve her and have it issued that she is required to leave the home. He said he should have it done sometime next week. He asked me to just keep quiet. He said, I know it's hard and you are upset, but just shut the hell up until everything is done. Once the divorce is over, you can say whatever you want about her, but until then, keep your mouth shut. He said, act as normal. He said, no fights, no issues, sleep in separate beds, and no sex. I said, no problem, but why? He said, just trust me and don't do it. Just do as I say. I just got home and have started getting ready for dinner and acting and being normal. I will be acting as if everything is okay until she's served next week. As I can only make 2 updates, yes, I actually read the rules, any more will be on my page if anyone cares. Quick edit, he recommended I get an STD test plus a DNA test on my girls. When I asked why, he said, it's pretty rare to see incidents like this that are the first time that they have happened. So yeah, that effing hurt to hear and scared the hell out of me. I mean, I'd be scared as hell too. Imagine getting not only cheated on, but coming to the realization that maybe your own daughters aren't even yours, and maybe you even got some sucky disease from your wife. Although, if they haven't had sex in the past year, I think OP would be safe. And the audacity of this woman to ask your husband to stay at home and take care of everything, only to get mad later on and that you resent him for it. You were the grand orchestrator of it. Like, what? I assume her pretending to feel the same way is to appease her lover, but I believe that because she said it so many times to her lover, that she now starts to believe it herself. Absolutely delusional. Also, to cheat with a coworker is one thing, but this is an 8-year younger employee. An employee. No way that's allowed, right? Like abuse of power or something? Luckily for us, OP posted 2 more updates afterwards. Click the subscribe button below to continue with the updates. Or just keep watching, I guess. I would appreciate it though. Hey everyone, I just wanted to thank you all for those who sent me good messages over this period. I have been feeling down and things have been rough. To preface, I have talked to my lawyer about these posts and I didn't go into too much detail. They did tell me though that as long as I keep them brief and not super specific that I can post. But I just have to be careful about what I put on to not lead too many details. That is that. So, for the quick update, like I said, I will be brief and not too specific for legal reasons. Let's start with the test. I was able to get an STD on myself and a paternity test on my girls. I came out that I thankfully have no disease and I am clear. Since I have been pretty much sexless from her for the last year, I wasn't all that surprised. Now for the one that I'm sure most of you are wondering, the test on my two girls. Am I the dad? I will always be their dad regardless of the results. However, I'm here to say that yes, I am biologically their father. I've never been so happy to know that I am their dad. I never thought I would have to question it, but here we are. As for what happened with my soon-to-be ex, well, she is out of the house, and I have been granted full temporary custody. In the future, maybe a while, I will go into more specific details. However, for now, she is out of the house. My lawyer set up everything for me to get my girls and make sure that we legally handed her being removed from the home. It wasn't pretty, but details for another time. She was served at work, and from what I know, it wasn't pretty. Like I said though, details for another time. My girls know what's going on. My oldest knows we are separating, and one of her friend's parents split for the same reason. She has seen what happened to her friend and doesn't want us to split. She has been crying for me to let mommy come home. I will be getting them in with a child therapist to explain and help understand from direction of my lawyer. My youngest just wants mommy to come home and misses her. It kills me and makes me feel like a terrible father, and they probably hate me now. Sometimes I think I should just let their mother cheat on me to keep the family united to make my girls happy. I can't do that. Sometimes I think about talking about allowing an open relationship and we can just wait till the girls are older, but that won't work for me. Plus, I know the girls will pick up on it and will not like that mommy and daddy don't love each other. As for my ex, she is living with her mother at this point. My mother-in-law has called me and asked to meet. I agreed and we will be meeting at some point. She didn't ask for details as she said we will talk later, but begged me not to take her granddaughters away from her. I said that you are a great and loving grandmother, and as long as you can separate my girls from what's going on between your daughter and I see no issue with you being able to see them, and I will not take them out of your life. She thanked me and that's it. My ex has been trying to call me and text me trying to figure us out. Under direction of my lawyer, he has it set up so that I can talk to her through a trackable method, and it is purely about the girls. No more, no less. So that's it for now. I will probably keep updating, and once this is all over with, I will make one big update for all the details I have to be careful about as of now. Thank you. Hey everyone, I thought I would give everyone a small update on some stuff that has happened. First off, I had Thanksgiving with my soon-to-be ex and mother-in-law. I did this purely for the girls and made sure with my lawyer that this was only about the girls and not about reconciliation. That was taken care of. First, I have met with mother-in-law pre-Thanksgiving. We met and had a pretty mutual discussion. Mainly just things about how we will handle my daughters after. My mother-in-law did tell me some stuff about my soon-to-be ex. I guess my soon-to-be ex was cheated on by her high school boyfriend. I didn't even know she dated anyone. I guess this guy came from one of those families, according to my mother-in-law, and they told her to avoid him. Well, I guess one night she caught him with his head under another girl's dress and tongue deep in a girl's jewelry box. Why, my mother-in-law couldn't believe she would do this. She had a couple of boyfriends they met in college, but she knew they wouldn't last. She said that as soon as she met me, she found her son-in-law. She's so sorry for her daughter's actions and will make sure that she doesn't try to do anything problematic with the divorce. Anyways, a couple of days before Thanksgiving, my mother-in-law asked me to come over for dinner with the girls. I asked if she would be there, and she said yes. And I said that I can't be there if the ex is there. She said that he understands, but asked if we could put on the holiday one more time for the girls. She told me that she knows I have a lawyer and to ask them if they said that it's a bad idea, that she gets it. I did, and they said to tell my wife via the app that this is purely for the girls to avoid any confusion. So I did. She had contacted me before about coming over. She has been begging me to see me and my girls. The girls have been begging me to see her mom. I swallowed my pride for my girls and we went. It was awkward. My soon to be ex gave our daughters a hug, fine, and then tried to hug and kiss me. I just avoided her and went to give my mother in law a hug. My soon to be ex tried to act like husband and wife and was trying to talk to me. I answered with yes and no's and helped my mother in law finish dinner and clean up. My mother in law is religious and wanted to do a prayer, and my soon to be ex sat next to me. I held my daughter's hand, and my wife tried to grab mine, but I pulled away. I know, it may seem petty, but I don't want her touching me. I am an atheist, but out of respect for my mother in law, I go along with it. Dinner was fine. Again, soon to be ex tried to act like we are going to be married and asked about Christmas and vacations, and I guess she wants to take us as a family. We finished dinner, and I pretty much got up, cleaned my daughters and the dishes, and I was ready to go. My daughters wanted to watch a movie with their mother, we always watch. I let them, and my soon to be ex tried to cuddle next to me on the couch. I sat in the chair after that. My mother in law was very mad at my soon to be ex the whole night for how she acted. I could tell by the looks she gave her. Movie ended, and we started to leave. My daughters fell asleep, so I carried them to the car. I went in to grab something, and my soon to be ex grabbed me in tears, begging me to work on things and that she wants to be a family and is so sorry for what happened. Before I could say anything, my mother in law grabbed her by the hair, not joking, and yanked her and told me goodnight and began yelling at her daughter. So yeah, I told my lawyer everything, and he said nothing indicated reconciliation and that I made it pretty clear in my messages. I'm fine. Wife once again calling and begging now to work on us. She gets left on red. I will only talk about the girls, and I am sure they're going to want to do the same for Christmas. I don't know if I can or if it's okay. Once again, I will discuss with my lawyer. OP then posted the final update. This will not be long, but things have gotten pretty bad for my girls. Basically, my girls had 2 sessions this week with their therapist. The first one was good. My girls came out what seemed to be more at peace and calmer than usual. I talked to the therapist after, and she seemed to be very good in understanding my girls well. So I took them to the second one, and crap is completely fed. Basically, the therapist explained in age-appropriate terms that the reason me and their mother is separating and that their mother cheated, had an affair, and betrayed me. I knew eventually the therapist would, but I didn't think it would happen this soon. I went to go get my girls, and basically it was a burst of tears, and them climbing all over me and giving me hugs, crying, saying they love me. I am happy they love me, but this is not what I wanted to happen with my girls. I asked my therapist why did she tell them. She said that the girls knew you two are separating, and the girls noticed you seem to be really mean and unloving with their mother. Your girls aren't stupid, she told me. They know how you are and know how you treat their mom. They wanted to know why you are separating. I tried to walk around it the best I could, and she said, but the girls aren't going to progress in therapy if we don't tell them. I'm not going to go into a detail on what exactly she said to them, but it was age appropriate. But they know the age appropriate version of their mother being unfaithful. I think my oldest could maybe handle this and be okay, but not my youngest. So we get home and my girls won't let go of me. They are literally crying the whole night, so I order in food, I put on their favorite movies in my bedroom, and we laid there all night. They fell asleep and I went to the bathroom and just cried. My soon-to-be ex doesn't even realize the pain she is causing our girls. I don't know how I'm going to deal with this. The therapist told me we could try medication for a bit till they get used to the new normal, but I refused to do so, which she supported and said it was just an option, as I am not drugging them. Disclaimer, she cannot give drugs. She said she would need to go see the primary and they would probably diagnose my girls with something that would allow them to medicate them. I would rather deal with my daughter's emotions the healthy way. I won't have to worry about Christmas as my daughters hate their mom now. How do I know? My oldest said she never wants to see her mom again. My youngest follows what her older sister says, even though she might actually agree. I was shocked. I said, "You don't hate her. You may be mad, but you don't hate her. She loves and cares about you. My oldest just said no, she doesn't, and then just cried into my arms until she fell asleep, and so did my youngest. So, this is my life now. It's always nice to see the mothers of unfaithful daughters be the strong hand, to make the women really realize that what they do is immoral and messed up towards their partner. The attempts of the ex to try and reconcile and act like everything okay feels so disingenuous. How could you ever trust a person like that? Someone who spent a whole year cheating on her husband. Absolutely despicable. I'm glad the daughters are going to be okay, or at least it seems like that. I'm sure they have a wonderful dad who will do everything in his power to keep them from harm, and that is very important. If you guys enjoyed this story, be sure to let me know down in the comments, as I do love reading your opinions and takes, and I'll be back in the next one. See ya!